The largest number you can think of is still closer to zero than it is to infinity. What about infinity minus 1? If you were to count every single grain of sand on every... Not true, because infinity isn't a number. It's a concept. Infinity is pretty small compared to infinity times infinity. What defines close to infinite? I can't think of the mathism for it. I guess that helps when you think of Jeff Bezos' net wealth. You can't get close to infinity. Depends on your metric in the Riemann sphere. 1 is at exactly the same distance from 0 and from infinity, and larger real numbers are closer to infinity. Infinity. Not once you start thinking of transfinite numbers. My friend once told me infinity is double infinity. I told him it would just be infinity. We fought. We aren't friends anymore. I think of 8. Checkmate. 1 is closer to infinity than it is to 0. What television intro goes way harder than it has to? Vikings makes me want to build a ship and destroy a civilization. Cowboy Bebop. No question. The arcade. Too many cooks. MASH goes so hard. Suicide is painless. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. April 2nd, 2024. X-Men. Pokemon the first season intro. Gravity Falls. What We Do in the Shadows. Honestly, the Fairly Odd Parents intro. Malcolm in the Middle. Psych. This is the way it is. Earth got used up. So we made a bunch of other Earths. In Living Color. The Nanny. Most of the April 2nd, 2024 shows had great intro music, but the Nanny song is iconic. Reading Rainbow. Peacemaker. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Game of Thrones. I chanted the shit out of that intro before every episode. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air intro goes so hard it could be its own music video. Men, what makes you reject a woman? Not being attracted to them mainly. 1. Her personality. 2. Her looks. 3. Her behaviors, mannerisms. 4. Her fashion. 5. Her sense of humor. 6. Dude isn't into women. 7. Dude has a partner. 8. Dude doesn't want a partner. 9. She's mentally unwell. 10. He's going through shit. Are you ugly? I am a woman that has asked guys out a few times only for them to ghost me or never make a move back at me. I'm kind of tired of that's how it works. Welcome to basically every straight, single dude's existence. Except for you, it's optional. Coming off like an asshole or not being attracted to her in that way. You've asked out a few guys. Do you know how many rejections most men have received? Even if a man's success rate is 10, if yours is 30, that's wildly successful in context. Bluey is a great show because it teaches parents how to be good parents. I can always tell if someone actually has kids or not based on what they think about the parents from Bluey. My son found it on Disney and asked me to watch it with him. Damn, I feel like every new parent needs to watch it to understand what to do with kids. And yet, simultaneously, it is a terrible show because there is no way you can watch it as a parent and not feel inadequate. As a parent, I think the parents in Bluey need to have just a touch more boundaries when it comes to playtime and others who are not playing, like unknowing neighbors. Also, when grown-up responsibilities need to take over, like making dinner or going to work. Playtime is nice, but being late for work has consequences. South Park teaches you how not to be a parent too. Bandit is the dad I aspire to be. Disagree, the cartoon never shows parents telling the kids no when it comes to playtime. It rarely shows the parents using the word no, which is your best weapon as a parent. It's intriguing how addiction can override the body's innate drive to survive. An alcoholic's body knows that it will die without it. It doesn't override, it just becomes a part of that drive to survive. Addiction makes the body thinks it needs to survive. It doesn't override the drive to survive. This is the entire frustrating thing of being addicted to nicotine, for instance. You know you are slowly killing yourself with this toxic habit, yet your body is tricked into needing the hit to survive. Yeah, my sugar addiction is kicking my ass right now. Addiction is based on the drive to survive. Addictive material essentially tricks the body into releasing too much of a neurotransmitter, which is normally a reward for survival or reproduction. This is exactly why it's a disease. Every creature has the instinctual desire for self-preservation. When we take things that we know are killing us or going to kill us and justify or dismiss it as it's not so bad, without help this will progress and be fatal. If one of your friends is in a relationship, what is one thing that is sign of it not lasting long? They're complaining to me about little annoyances. You need to be telling this to them. If you can't even talk about little issues, you've got some big issues. They love to tease each other about how the other one is a pain, demanding or trying in some little funny teasing, and digs become real mean after a while. They talk about how their exes were better at size. Huge red flag. You invite them out as an individual and their SO blows up their phone for constant updates. The whole "we aren't at the fucking strip club, we're getting sushi," and then playing Super Smash Bros. Calmed down. One person doing everything. I have a friend F that dated someone long-term M. When asked where certain things are, M didn't know where it's located, but F knew. She wasn't even living there full-time, only weekends. They quickly and dramatically append their life, e.g., completely changing social circles for the sake of their so. Any relationship. It's kinda shocking how long a Bic lighter lasts, if you don't lose it before it dies, not to mention how dependable it is for being such a simple design. They're pretty amazing. I keep one on me all the time even though I don't smoke. Very handy when camping. I've had way more get stolen than I've ever used up. Bic makes some really good, although wasteful products. Lighters, pens, disposable razors, all excellent. None of them are particularly glamorous items, but they are all extremely functional. Depends on what you're smoking. I watched an episode of Survivorman where he stranded himself on a remote island for a week. First day, he found a lighter that washed up on the beach and it still worked. Probably years of floating around and being exposed to salt water, it still could spark, and the whole time it kept the water out and the butane in. Ludicrously dependable product. In my experience, dependability and simplicity usually go together. Hey, my 19-year-old is amazing kid but also herbs. How do I inspire talk to him to start working out without hurting his feelings? I'm really worried about his health. You can't inspire him, just like you can't inspire an alcoholic to quit. You can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. The very first step must come from that said. You can create an environment that's healthy for him. Do you live together? We had the same problem. We decided not to nag our son about his weight. Instead, my wife and I went on a keto diet and only prepared low-carb meals. Slowly, he came around and began following our eating lifestyle. He has now lost 40 pounds and his self-confidence has gone through the roof. Now it is he who nags us if we ever try to sneak in a cheat day. What is the crappiest city you've ever been to? In the US, Jackson, Mississippi. In the world, San Pedro Sula, Honduras. East Street Louis is pretty shit too. Pine Bluff, the most poverty-stricken area of the Mississippi River Delta. Then plop down a really shit casino. Literally. Olongapo City in the Philippines had an actual shit river when I visited there in the April 2, 2024. All of the town sewage flowed into it, and it reeked for a good. There were people who would dive off of bridges for pesos that folks would throw into the shitty water. Don't even get me started on the late-night ballot guys yelling like they're at a ball game selling peanuts. Needles, California. It smelt like a meth addict fart. What was the most shocking habit you discovered when you moved in with a partner? He won't clear the couch, he just sits down. Fresh folded washing. Sit on it. Handbag. Sit on it. Paper. Sit on it. Was so tempted to leave a saucy plate on the couch and see what happened. Habit finally ended when he sat on a laptop, eating cereal with water, not milk. He and his roommates never took out the trash. Like ever. Huge pile of full trash bags in the kitchen, almost reaching the ceiling, with trash in all the cabinets, too. Every great once in a while they would rent a U-Haul to take it to the dump. So confusing to me, but I didn't know how to help them break the cycle. Nice guys, but sheesh. Doesn't put the drain catch back in the kitchen sink, and then fills it with dirty dishes. How do I go about him not getting it up the first time sleeping together? First time jitters, performance anxiety. He's overly worried about it all, and that ruins the mood in his mind. Probably let him know it's all right and you can try again when he's more relaxed and comfortable himself. Don't make a big deal about it. He just needs to get comfortable. Give him naked cuddles and just hold each other until he's hard again. Rinse and repeat. Had that happen with Mike of now 7 years when we tried the first time. It's most likely nothing more than stress, and anxiety nothing to do with you. It's gonna be fine eventually as long as you don't make him feel uncomfortable over it. Which means just keep going as usual with life and your relationship. Why younger men are more interested in me than guys my age. Maybe you give off mommy vibes, lol. So why wouldn't guys my age find me attractive or match me? Something in your bio scaring dim off ask her guy friends to look. This becomes more prominent as you get older. 20-year-old men will target 35 women specifically. I think it's because they think we are desperate, less picky, have a higher libido, more confidence, and can teach them a guess. I immediately delete any messages from anyone of that age, so I have no idea if they are after anything other than sex. Seems doubtful, though. Maybe the older men have a lower age range because they could be wanting something more serious, and the younger men are more focused on less serious relationships. I know how that sounds, but consider it a possibility. As a 33-year-old who spent some time on the apps, they assume you are in the app because you want to be a cougar and have sex with them. They just want to hit brew.